One of the most immediate effects of an allegation of violating nurse practices is the loss of your job. And a big part of what I do when I talk in an initial consultation is what to do about your job when an allegation arises. So nurses want to know if they should quit, if they should stay on the job, what they ought to do. And my answers vary depending upon the facts and circumstances. So, for example, if a nurse is put on administrative leave pending an investigation, sometimes that means that a nurse will expect to be rehired or put back to work rather, and they wait several weeks and they're not making any money because they're not allowed to go back to work. I've seen some nurses strung out for a month or more without another job, and they don't have an income, and so they get behind on their bills. Unfortunately, in my experience, most investigations result in termination. That's just a fact based on the nurses who have called me. I don't know if that is a skewed statistic or not, but in my experience, when you're investigated, someone's complained about you, your employer doesn't want to take any risks, and termination is the inevitable result. Again, those results might be skewed. Hard for me to say because the people calling me are obviously concerned about their work. Now, what to do in your case depends. So the first question I ask the nurse is, do you want to keep your job? If you do, maybe it's worth fighting for. And so we discuss in detail the facts of what happened. Is it a true or a false allegation? And if it's true, chances are termination is inevitable. Now, if it's not a true allegation, if it is based on speculation and information, then it just depends. Some nurses are covered under a collective bargaining agreement or CBA, where they have rights to go to a hearing and to appeal that hearing. So in those situations where there's a union rep for the nurse, it might be worth going forward with the hearing. But at the same time, I see the rules of the hearings often violated. For example, in a CBA with a very well-known hospital here in Las Vegas, they say that they cannot ask the nurse questions, but they always do. So the nurse goes on the record, and in my experience, the union rep doesn't always do as effective as a job as an attorney would at a hearing, protecting the interests of the nurse. And there's reasons for that, but no reason to go into that for now. So a lot of times, the best solution, if you feel that termination is inevitable, is to simply resign and go find another job. Now, if you've already received a letter from the Nevada State Board of Nursing, you'll need to disclose to potential employers, if they ask, whether you are currently under investigation by the board. So again, these are very sensitive topics. There's a lot of moving parts. The best thing for you to do is give me a call, and as part of your concerns about discipline, we'll discuss its impact on your employment moving forward.